Beneath the quiet fields and rolling hills of Britain lie forgotten kingdoms, not carved in stone, but written in graves, scattered beads, and rusted blade. Each discovery, each artifact is a whisper from a lost world. A world of warriors, weavers, rulers, and rituals. The Anglo-Saxons didn't just shape early England, they were its heartbeat. Yet so much remains hidden. How many more cemeteries lie undiscovered? How many untold stories wait in the soil beneath our feet? The past isn't dead. It's buried waiting to be unearthed. Unearthing secrets that all started with a shadow war. Faint discoloration in the soil spotted from above. Archaeologists moved in with careful hands and open minds. What they uncovered was astonishing. An Anglo-Saxon cemetery, untouched for over 1,000 years. Graves lined in rows, each one whispering a different story. A warrior laid to rest with his sword. A woman buried with beads in a bronze mirror. A child placed gently in the earth with a protective charm around their neck. These weren't just remains, they were lives frozen in time. The past was speaking, and the soil became its voice. Life and death in a forgotten village. Anglo-Saxon villages were small, but filled with life. Timber homes clustered together, livestock nearby, and smoke rising from cooking fires. Life was structured there, were nobles, freemen, and slaves. Everyone had a role, and everyone bore the weight of survival. Illness, famine, and war were never far away. But there was joy too in feasts, in family, in community. Death was not the end, but a transformation. Burials weren't just for the dead. They were for the living to remember, to honor, to protect. Symbols of identity, every object in a grave was chosen with care. A sword didn't just mean the man was a warrior, it spoke of loyalty, honor, and status. A brooch wasn't simply decorative, it marked culture, tribe, and trade. Some had coins from far-off lands, showing how interconnected the Anglo-Saxon world really was. A simple comb could signify grooming, beauty, or even magic. These were not random possessions. They were identities in metal, bone, and stone. Powerful women in the earth. Many of the most elaborately furnished graves belonged to women, and their stories are powerful. One was buried with glass beads imported from the Mediterranean. Another had an ornate silver mirror, rare and valuable. Perhaps most fascinating was a woman buried with a heavy iron key. More than a household tool. It symbolized authority, I believe, over land, wealth, or ritual. These were not passive figures in history. They were leaders, healers, and maybe even priestesses. The grave goods tell us. These women were respected in life and honored in death. Strange rituals and hidden fears, not all burials were serene. Some were unsettling. A man buried with his skull deliberately crushed. A woman face down in her grave. What could these mean? Some archaeologists believe they reflect fear of the dead returning, or of powerful individuals needing restraint even in death. Amulets, animal bones, and burned offerings suggest that magic and ritual were tightly woven into their worldview. The line between life and the supernatural was thick and constantly crossed. The hidden story of daily life. Beyond the riches, some of the most revealing finds are humble. A cracked pottery shard, a scorched grain of wheat, a broken loom weight in a sunken hut. These fragments show how people worked, cooked, raised children, and weathered storms, both literal and political. They spun wool, forged iron, ground grain. Their hands shaped the land, and now we shape their story from what's left behind. Bones that speak truth, human remains, give us insight no artifact can. Some bones were strong, but worn clear signs of hard labor. Others bore injuries from battle, infection, or disease. Teeth told of poor nutrition and diets filled with grit. And then there were the children's far too many reminders of how fragile life was. But some injuries had healed, meaning they survived. These people weren't statistics. They were individuals with names now lost, but lives still echoing through bone and soil. The lost kingdoms beneath our feet, these graves and artifacts, aren't just historical trivia. They're the foundation of the early English world. The Anglo-Saxons came after Rome fell, and before Norman rule began. Their world was one of shifting kingdoms, rich beliefs, and constant adaptation. Yet so much of their story remains buried, quite literally. Every dig brings something new. Every object unearthed is a missing piece of a forgotten puzzle. Beneath our modern world lies a shadow, one built by them. If this journey into Anglo-Saxon life moved you, imagine what else is waiting to be discovered. Subscribe to Decoding History and Science to explore ancient civilizations, lost truths, and the stories buried beneath our feet. Comment below. What fascinated you the most? The rituals, the weapons, or the women of power? And remember, history isn't behind us. It's beneath us.